There comes a moment in your life when you realize it was never about the pain. It was never about the struggle. It was never about who hurt you or who left. It was about the fire inside of you, the reason you keep waking up, the reason you haven't given up. Excess, you see, everybody talks about power, about grind, about hunger. But let me tell you something real. Love is the most unstoppable force in the universe. When you love something deeply, your dream, your family, your purpose, you become dangerous. You become unbreakable. Because love don't quit. Love don't take days off. Love shows up when fear tells you to stay in bed. Love fights when logic says give up. So if you're tired, if you're broken, if you're on the edge, don't dig deeper into pain. Dig deeper into love. That's where your strength is. That's where your breakthrough lies. This ain't about motivation. This is about transformation. And love. Real love. That's the spark that lights the fire. Let's go. There will be days when you feel like you have nothing left. Days when your body aches, your mind is exhausted, and your heart feels empty. The kind of days when every step forward feels like dragging a mountain behind you. On those days, most people give up. They tell themselves it's not worth it, that they've done enough, that maybe the dream was too big to begin with. But the ones who don't quit, the ones who keep pushing even when the tank is empty, are the ones who are driven by something deeper than motivation. They are driven by love. Because love is not a feeling, it's fuel. It's the engine that keeps roaring long after everything else has died down. When you love your craft, you show up for it even when no one's clapping. When you love your family, you grind through the hardest seasons because quitting would hurt them more than it hurts you. When you love your purpose, you choose pain over comfort, growth over ease, battle over surrender. That's the difference right there. Some people are motivated by glory, by recognition, by applause. But what happens when the lights go out? When no one's watching? When no one believes in you but you? That's when love becomes your lifeline. That's when love whispers, "This matters. Keep going." And the beautiful thing about love, it never runs dry. It might get quiet. It might get challenged. But it never disappears. Love sustains you in the silence, in the setbacks, in the loneliness. Think about the moments in your life when you've truly given your all. Not because you were forced to. Not because someone promised you something in return. But because your heart was all in. Maybe it was a child you were trying to protect. Maybe it was a dream you've carried since you were a kid. Maybe it was a vision of a better future. Something that burns in your soul. That kind of love moves mountains. And here's the truth that most people don't want to face. Strength isn't about how much weight you can lift. Strength is about how much weight you can carry when no one else sees it. It's about how long you can hold the line when everything inside you is screaming to give up. It's about pushing through. Not because you feel strong, but because you love something so much, you refuse to let it die. Love will have you outworking people who are stronger than you. Love will have you outlasting people who are more talented than you. Because love doesn't punch a time clock. Love doesn't call in sick. Love doesn't say, "I'll try again next year." Love is now. Love is forever. Love is all in. When you operate from love, your pain becomes a privilege. Your grind becomes your gift. It's no longer about what you have to do. It's about what you get to do. You get to show up. You get to try again. You get to be part of something bigger than your comfort zone. That perspective changes everything. There's a fire that starts to grow in you when you stop chasing results and start moving from love. Because now, failure can't stop you. Setbacks can't define you. You're not tied to outcomes anymore. You're tied to your why. And when your why is love, you become dangerous. You become unshakable. It's not the strongest person who wins. It's the person who refuses to stop because the mission is too important. That's the person who walks into the storm willingly. That's the person who bleeds for the cause and says, if this is what it takes, so be it. That kind of strength scares people because it's not built in the gym. It's not taught in school. It's built in sacrifice, in service, in late nights and early mornings, in holding on to faith when everything around you is falling apart. And don't get it twisted. Love isn't soft. Love isn't passive. Love is the most violent force in the world when it's defending something sacred. Love will fight. Love will tear down walls. Love will protect. Love will endure. Love will suffer and still smile. Love will carry the burden and never complain. That's why love is power. If you want to be unstoppable, stop chasing hype and start connecting with what you love. Ask yourself, what am I willing to suffer for? What am I willing to sacrifice for? What would I do even if no one paid me? No one praised me? No one ever noticed? That answer, that's your real strength. That's your calling. And here's the catch. When you lead with love, you attract more of it. People feel it in your presence. They feel it in your work. They see it in your persistence. They trust you, not because you're the best, but because they know your heart is real. And that kind of trust, that kind of energy, it opens doors talent never could. So if you're sitting there right now, wondering if you've got what it takes, if you're thinking about quitting, if the weight feels too heavy, don't look at the mountain. Look inside. Tap into the love that got you started. Remind yourself why this matters. Remind yourself who you're doing this for. Because when the body is weak, love makes you strong. When the mind is tired, love makes you sharp. When the world says, you can't, love screams back, watch me. Love conquers. Every time. Not because it's easy, but because it refuses to quit. There's something extraordinary that happens when you stop living just for yourself. When you wake up and realize that your life is no longer about chasing comfort or applause or your own survival, but about something bigger, something deeper. When love enters the equation, your entire perspective shifts. You stop asking, what do I want? And you start asking, what does this mission require of me? That shift alone turns average people into legends. When you truly love something, your family, your purpose, your dream, you stop being driven by temporary highs. You don't need hype. You don't need to be inspired every morning. You have a reason that pulls you out of bed, whether you feel like it or not. That reason becomes your anchor when the storms hit, because they will. The setbacks, the betrayals, the failures, they're all coming. But when you're living for something greater than yourself, you don't crumble. You get back up because someone else is counting on you. Too many people are stuck because they haven't found the deeper reason yet. They're running on fumes. They're moving from trend to trend, idea to idea, with no foundation. But once you lock into love, once your actions are tied to a bigger why, you develop grit, you develop patience, you become resilient in ways you never thought possible. Think about a mother who's exhausted, overworked, underappreciated. but still finds the energy to care for her children. Why? Because it's not about her comfort. It's about her love. That love makes her powerful. It gives her a strength the world can't measure. Or a father who works 3 jobs, who sacrifices sleep and comfort just to make sure his family has food on the table. That kind of sacrifice doesn't come from ego. It comes from love. That's what gives life its meaning. When your actions are rooted in service to something beyond yourself. Love gives your struggle purpose. It gives your effort context. You're not just grinding for a car or a house or a title. You're grinding because you care. And when you care deeply enough, you endure things other people run from. It's the love for the team that makes an athlete train harder when the cameras are off. It's the love for the mission that keeps the soldier marching through the mud and chaos. It's the love for people that keeps the leader up at night, worrying, working, making hard choices. Love doesn't make things easier. It makes them worth it. That's what separates those who last from those who burn out. Passion is a spark. Love is a furnace. Passion will get you excited. Love will keep you going when the excitement fades. Passion is about how you feel. Love is about what you're committed to. And real love, it shows up every single day, whether it's celebrated or not. When you fall in love with your purpose, with your calling, you stop making excuses. You stop measuring effort by results. You start showing up with consistency because you understand this: what you do today matters. Maybe not to the world, maybe not even to the people around you, but it matters to you. Because love refuses to let you settle. Love won't let you mail it in. Love demands your best, even when you're at your worst. You stop negotiating with life. You stop asking for shortcuts. You embrace the process. You lean into the pain, knowing that every drop of sweat, every lonely night, every scar you carry is proof that you gave yourself to something that mattered. And even if you never get the recognition, even if you never hear, thank you, you sleep at night with peace. Because you know your life is making an impact. There's nothing more dangerous than someone who has a reason. Not just a goal, a reason. Because goals can be abandoned. But reasons get etched into your soul. Reasons become your code. And when your reason is rooted in love, when it's about lifting others, building legacy, protecting what matters, then you are unstoppable. The world will throw distractions at you, temptations, doubts. But love gives you tunnel vision. It helps you block out the noise. Because you know what's at stake. You know what you're protecting. You know what you're building. And that clarity is priceless. While others are running in circles, you are moving forward. With heart, with direction, with fire. You become the person people lean on. The one who doesn't crack under pressure. Not because you're perfect, but because you're anchored. Your love won't let you fall apart. Your love won't let you give up halfway. You've seen the cost, and you've decided it's worth it. So many people are looking for motivation. Watching videos, reading books, waiting for that one quote to change everything. But here's the truth. The strongest drive comes from within. It comes from falling so deeply in love with your why that quitting stops being an option. It doesn't even enter your mind. Because love is too valuable, too precious, too powerful to let go of. When you understand that your life isn't just about you, your entire world opens up. You start living with courage. You take bolder steps. You speak truth. You embrace discomfort. You show up fully, not for the applause, but because love demands your presence. And the crazy thing is, when you live from that place of love, you start changing lives. You don't even try to. People just feel it. They see it in your eyes. They hear it in your voice. They trust you because you're not chasing success. You're chasing purpose. You're living for meaning. And that's rare. That's powerful. That's unforgettable. Love doesn't guarantee an easy road, but it guarantees a meaningful one. And if you're tired of feeling stuck, if you're tired of running in circles, then stop thinking about what you want to get from life and start asking what you want to give. Ask yourself what you love so deeply that you'd suffer for it, sacrifice for it, serve it for the rest of your life. Because once you find that everything changes, pain is inevitable. Struggle is part of the journey. You will be broken. You will be disappointed. People will leave. Circumstances will crush you. Dreams will feel distant. And some days, everything will scream at you to let go. But love, real love, has the power to transform that pain into something greater. It doesn't erase the scars. It gives them meaning. It turns wounds into wisdom. It turns heartbreak into purpose. Because when you truly love something, even your suffering becomes sacred. You see, most people try to run from pain. They avoid it, numb it, distract themselves with pleasure or pretend like it doesn't exist. But the ones who are fueled by love, they step into the pain. They face it head on. Not because they enjoy suffering, but because they understand it's part of becoming who they were born to be. When you're driven by love, pain is no longer the enemy. It becomes the catalyst. Think about the most defining moments in your life. Chances are they weren't the easy ones. They were the moments when you were cracked open, when life knocked you down so hard you didn't think you'd ever stand again. But somehow, you did. Somehow, through the tears and the silence, through the betrayal and the confusion, you rose. And what pulled you up wasn't ego. It wasn't pride. It was love. Love for yourself. Love for your future. Love for the people who needed you to keep going. That love became your fire. It turned your pain into fuel. Every time you cried, every time you felt like you were drowning, that love reminded you, there's more. And with each battle, you didn't just survive. You transformed. You started to see that maybe the pain wasn't punishment. Maybe it was preparation. Maybe the rejection wasn't the end. It was redirection. Maybe the storm wasn't there to break you. It was there to build you. That's what love does. It changes your relationship with adversity. You stop asking, why me? And you start asking, what is this teaching me? You stop feeling like a victim and start walking like a warrior. Because when you love something enough, you're willing to suffer for it. And when you're willing to suffer, you become unbreakable. It's not that you enjoy the suffering. It's that you understand its value. Pain becomes a teacher. And love helps you listen. You start to realize that the heartbreak taught you how to be real. The failure taught you how to be humble. The loss taught you how to be grateful. And all of it, the struggle, the silence, the stretch, it was shaping you into someone stronger, someone wiser, someone deeper. Love doesn't take the pain away. It gives it a voice. It allows you to say, this hurt me, but it didn't destroy me. This broke me, but it also rebuilt me. I'm not who I was before, and that's a good thing. Pain reveals your limits. Love expands them. Pain shows you where it hurts. Love shows you why it matters. Pain tests you. Love transforms you. When you live from a place of love, every failure becomes part of the journey. Every setback becomes a setup. Every delay becomes divine timing. You stop measuring your life by how easy it is and start measuring it by how deeply you feel, how fiercely you care, and how courageously you move forward despite the pain. You become someone who no longer fears the fire, because you are the fire. And here's what most people never understand. Love and pain are not opposites. They are partners. The more you love, the more you open yourself up to hurt. But that's not weakness. That's strength. Because only the brave choose to love in a world that can break your heart. Only the courageous choose to care when apathy is safer. Only the relentless turn their suffering into service. You don't have to hide your scars. You don't have to pretend like it didn't hurt. Real strength is being able to say, yes, I cried for this. I almost quit 100 times, but I'm still here. And I'm still fighting. Not out of anger. Not out of revenge. But out of love. Love for the journey. Love for the growth. Love for the mission. And when you get to that place, when you've been through the fire and your love still burns, you become a light for others. People see the strength in your scars. They hear the truth in your voice. They feel the depth in your presence. Because they know you've been through something. And you didn't let it break you. You let it build you. So don't be afraid of the pain. Don't run from the dark nights or the silent battles. Lean into them. Let them shape you. Let them humble you. And above all, let love guide you through them. Because love will carry you when strength fails. Love will hold you when everything falls apart. Love will whisper, keep going, when the world tells you to stop. And one day you'll look back, not with bitterness, but with pride. Because you'll see how far you've come. You'll see how the pain that once threatened to destroy you actually revealed who you really are. You'll know, deep in your bones, that love conquered it all. Not because it made the road easier, but because it made the road meaningful. Legacy isn't built in the moment. It's built in the everyday grind, in the decisions no one sees, in the sacrifices that never get applauded. Legacy isn't about your name being famous. It's about your life meaning something long after you're gone. And the only thing powerful enough to create that kind of impact is love. Not intelligence. Not even money. Love. Real. Consistent. Sacrificial love. The kind that shows up not for glory, but for growth. The kind that pushes you to do the right thing even when it's the hardest thing. The kind that lives louder than words and lasts longer than time. When you operate from love, you start planting seeds in people, in your children, in your community, in your work. And those seeds grow, even if you never get to see the harvest. That's what legacy is. It's not what people say about you while you're here. It's the echo of your effort, the ripple of your sacrifice, the shadow of your commitment that stretches far beyond your final breath. That's the power of love. It keeps moving through people, through moments, through generations. When you're fueled by love, you don't work for recognition. You work for results that matter. You're not trying to impress. You're trying to influence. You're not chasing fame. You're chasing faithfulness to your values, to your mission, to the people you're doing it for. You start living like every action counts, because it does. Every time you choose integrity over ease, compassion over judgment, service over selfness, you're writing your legacy. And the thing about legacy, you don't get to write it in one big moment. It's not one grand achievement or one viral success. It's hundreds, thousands of small choices, The late nights when you stayed up to be there for someone who needed you. The mornings you woke up early to chase a dream that still hadn't paid you back. The moments you bit your tongue, forgave first, or gave more than you had to give. That's what people remember. That's what stays long after your voice goes quiet. Love makes you think long term. It makes you care about the kind of world you're leaving behind. Not just the wealth, but the wisdom. Not just the business, but the belief system. Not just the structure, but the spirit. When love is the foundation, you build things that last. You raise children who walk in truth. You create work that resonates. You become a source of strength others draw from. It's not easy. Love-driven legacy is a hard path. It means saying no to shortcuts. It means choosing character when compromise is more convenient. It means showing up when you're tired, speaking truth when it's unpopular, holding your ground when it would be easier to run. But every time you do it, you carve your name into the world. Not in stone, but in spirit. Because people don't remember what you said. They remember how you made them feel. They remember how you made them believe again. They remember how you showed up when others disappeared. They remember your fire, your fight, your heart. That's legacy. That's what lasts. Love forces you to ask deeper questions. What am I leaving behind? Who am I becoming? What will they say about me when I'm gone? Not just the people in the crowd, but the people in the quiet corners of your life. The ones who saw the real you. Will they say you were faithful? Will they say you love well? Will they say you made them better? The answer to those questions doesn't come from dreams or desires. It comes from discipline. It comes from what you do when no one's watching. It comes from how you treat people who have nothing to offer you. It comes from how you lead, how you love, how you live. Love breaks cycles. It heals wounds. It changes stories. And every time you choose to act in love, you set something powerful in motion. You teach your children how to be strong without being cold. You show your team how to fight without losing compassion. You prove that greatness and goodness are not enemies, they are allies. That's how you build a legacy that changes lives. And let me be real, it won't always be appreciated. People might not get it. They might misunderstand your heart. They might take advantage of your generosity, question your motives, or overlook your effort. But you don't stop, because legacy isn't for applause. It's for eternity. It's not about who praises you today. It's about who carries your principles tomorrow. Love keeps you grounded when the world is shaking. Love keeps you generous when everything tells you to be selfish. Love keeps you brave when fear tries to take over. Love reminds you that even if you don't see the impact now, your work is never wasted. Your words are never forgotten. Your life is never in vain. So every day you wake up, you've got a choice. You can live for comfort, or you can live for contribution. You can chase what's easy, or you can chase what's eternal. You can settle for success, or you can build a legacy. If you choose love, real, raw, relentless love, you'll build something no one can tear down. You'll become someone that time can't erase. Your legacy begins now, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, not when everything's perfect. It begins the moment you decide that your life will matter, that your choices will count, that your love will outlive your limitations, that you will give everything you've got, not because the world told you to, but because love left you no other option. That's the power of love. It doesn't just conquer, it creates, it builds, it inspires, it transcends. And if you let it, love will write a legacy through your life that no one will ever forget. So now you know. This isn't just about working harder. It's not just about being disciplined or tough or ambitious. This is about something far more powerful, something eternal. This is about love. The kind of love that doesn't ask for applause. The kind of love that fights in silence. The kind of love that doesn't flinch when things get hard because it expects hard and keeps going anyway. Love is the reason you rise when life breaks you. Love is the voice that says, one more round, when everyone else has left the ring. Love is the fire that burns long after the spark of motivation has faded. Because when you love something, really love it, you don't need to be told to show up. You show up because you cannot show up. You grind when no one's watching. You stay true when everyone else folds. You give more when you have less. And in a world full of noise, of doubt, of distraction, love gives you focus. Love gives you clarity. Love gives you strength. It makes you brave. It makes you relentless. It makes you unforgettable. So don't chase what's popular. Don't chase what's easy. Chase what you love. Build what you love. Protect what you love. Because that is where your greatness lies. You want to be legendary. You want to be remembered. Then love louder. Love of harder. Because in the end, it's not power that conquers. Not pain. Not pride. It's love. And love, real, raw, relentless love, always wins. Now go. Live like it. Fight like it. Love like it. Because the world is waiting to feel the impact only you can make. Let them feel your heart. Let them see your fire. And let them say when you're gone, that was someone who lived with love. That was someone who conquered.